This video was recorded before my surgery.
Hi everyone, welcome and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I am Gloria and I'm a mom of two, and I do all sorts of videos for motherhood, lifestyles and vlogs and everything in between, such as cooking, cleaning, day in the life and hauls. If that is something you're interested in, please don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you could be notified every time I upload a new video and you will not miss out on any of my videos. If you're my current subscribers, thank you very much for supporting my channel and staying subscribed to my channel. It really means the world to me to have in my channel. It actually encourages me and then lets me know that I'm doing the right thing. And to those of you who subscribed whilst I was away, because I've been away for I think about 5 months, and thank you so much. You've got no idea what this means to me to have subscriber, even though I've not been able to upload the video. It has encouraged me in some ways, so thank you very much. And all the likes, comments and subscription does not go unnoticed. Though I've not been uploading, I have been keeping an eye on them, and yeah, it doesn't go unnoticed. I try my hardest to reply to comments whenever I do see them, and I'm going to try and keep this video as short and sweet as I can. It's my first time doing a video where I'm just sitting, I'm not actually cleaning or talking in the background. Just to say, if you hear any hissing sound, I do have my air freshener and it is making a hissing sound. I don't know why. So if you do hear in the background, try and ignore it, because I'm not sure how I'm going to edit this without and then remove the sound of the air freshener. Anyhow, I'm not going to deviate on what I'm actually here for. As you can tell by the title down below, this is an update of my life, where I've been, what's been happening, and I'm sure a lot of you are curious if that is my air freshener and that's how it sounds like. So if you're my current subscriber, you probably are aware and know from my previous videos I've been saying I've not been too well and I've been feeling sick. So to cut the long story short, I'll try and keep as short as I can. I am a bit nervous doing this, but I will try and keep the video together and not all over the place. I've got a couple of illnesses that I'm dealing with, as well as dealing with my mental health. So I have fibroid, fibromyalgia, PCOS and anxiety and depression. So these are the health issues that I've been dealing with, and it's just become so overwhelming for me. I've had to be off social media and YouTube. I just didn't have any motivation of recording any videos, and I just felt like if I don't have a motivation, how will I be able to motivate you with doing your cleaning, your house chores at home? So that's why I've been away. I'm going to say what each of the illnesses are, and then I'm going to explain how it's affected me and what I've been going through, like the symptoms that I've been having, and then my struggles and how I'm dealing with them.
Just before I pause the video quickly up here, if I look like I'm struggling to swallow, I was just very nervous and holding back tears whilst doing this video.
So I've got fibroid, and fibroid are non-cancerous growth made up of muscles and tissues, and then it grows on the outer wall of the womb or the uterus. Disclaimer, I am no medic. I'm just saying it as what I have been told, and then on my research and what the doctors have told me. So this is what fibroid is, and the symptoms that I've been having, because everyone is different, but the ones that I've been having are heavy bleeding and pain. So a lot of pain. So I first had fibroid back in 2009, May 2009, when I had my daughter, but they were quite small, and because I was a new mom and I was a first time mom, a new mom, then I didn't pay too much attention to it, and it was not bothering me so much. Yeah, so I just left it. If it's not broken, don't fix it, type of thing. So I've didn't do anything about it, but I did notice after having my daughter that whenever I was on my menstrual cycle, so my period, it will be heavy and they will be more painful, and which at first I was used to, because I mean I've always had painful periods, and but then after my daughter, the periods and the pain were they were stronger than what it was before I had her. So I went to see my doctors. That was many years back, and they put me on tranexamic acid, which is medication to help manage the bleeding whilst you're on your period, so it's not as extreme. Because I used to bleed, and normal menstrual cycle will last between 5 to 7 days, but I used to bleed heavy straight up 14 days, and and that caused me to become anemic. So I am anemic, I've got anemia, and they put me on iron tablet, which back then I think it was ferrous sulfate that I was having, but then it's changed to ferrous fumarate. And yeah, so I've been on iron tablet ever since, and I've been trying to manage the bleeding. But one thing I used to do is always try to find an excuse every time I was on my period to not go out, because I was just so cautious and scared and worried that I was so anxious that I will I'll literally make a mess out myself, and not being able to control how heavy my bleeding was, to the point where I will mess myself up. I was scared it would happen in public, and all this stuff. I didn't want to go through it. So whenever I was on my period, I would just stay at home, basically. And fast forward to 10 years. So I've got two children, and they are 10 years apart. My daughter is she's 13, soon to be 14, and my son is 3, soon to be 4. So my son was born in August 2019. So 10 years after, fast forward to 10 years, I've had my little boy. And sorry, I was just I come too close. I was checking my cameras to record it. This is going to be very unfiltered video, so enjoy. Yes, I've had my son August 2019, and that's when my fibroid flared up. So it was feeding up from my blood supply. I became weak all the time. I've had to have a lot of blood tests to check my hemoglobin. I was having blood tests as well prior to check my hemoglobin level, which is the blood levels, and back in 2009. But then I had even more of that in 2019, because the fibroid just flared up, meaning that it was growing faster and quicker as my baby was growing in my womb. And I must say, aside from having my son, like, I love the part of the pregnancy whilst I was pregnant with my son that I really love is the fact that I had my son. That's like one of the best thing for me, is having my son and knowing that he was healthy. But then the pregnancy itself wasn't really enjoyable. As sad as that might sound, I did not enjoy it. It was one of the worst pain ever. Like, the 9 months felt to me like 9 years, because I've literally was in and out of hospital for the entire 9 months, and it was unbearable. But I was so blessed to have one of the loveliest and nicest consultant, a doctor, Dr. Sims, who's so kind and helped me go through with the pregnancy, even at the time where I felt like I wasn't going to make it. Because when I found out I was pregnant, because I knew the fibroid was there, it was going to affect it, and my baby was not planned, the first thing they said to us is, I might not make it right through the pregnancy, so it might be the risk of premature labor, or baby or miscarriage. So when I found out, I didn't tell anybody that I was pregnant right away, because I just felt if I tell someone and then I lose the pregnancy, I'm having to explain to people what's happening with the pregnancy, and just going through the whole topic and talking about it. It's just, I found like miscarriages and topic are really sensitive, and then only when you're ready to talk about it you should. And it's not a topic that I want to bring up. I've had like, long story short, I did have a miscarriage before, so I don't want to go through the story. But then yeah, that was it. I didn't want to go through that again and explaining, so I just left it as it is. And yeah, so I went through blood test, in and out of hospital. And then when my son was born, so he was born at 37 weeks. 1 week just after, because I think from 36 weeks then is classed as premature labor. But then I made it to an extra 1 week, and which I was so glad. But once I made it to 37, so he wasn't born premature, and the labor was absolutely fine. There was painful, but it was fine. We don't know what labor is like. And then it was the best. It felt like the pain, the whole 9 months pain I went through was worth it, because my son was born, and he's absolutely perfect to me. And after that, it was decided that I would go for a surgery. So he was born in 2019, and then there was a plan to put a surgery in place because of the amount of bleeding that I was enduring going through, and then the pain that I was going through, and then how quick my fibroid has gotten. So it was decided to have the surgery. But as we all know, COVID and lockdown happened the following year, March. So everything got put on hold, and my surgery didn't take place, and I didn't hear anything from the doctors. I totally understand they were busy, and then the rates of COVID patients were more important to treat. And then not just me, everyone else, even the cancer patient with cancers, and all the surgery had to be put on hold. So I totally understood that, and I waited. And when I finally got a date for my surgery, I was transferred to a private surgery, and then was told because of the amount of patients the NHS had to deal with, they started to transfer some of the patient into a private surgery. So when I got my first letter of an assessment and scan to see like the length of the fibroid and the what to do with my surgery, I went to the private hospital and I did my test, and then that got cancelled. So my surgery got cancelled, and then they rebooked me for another day, and that got cancelled. So basically, on that private surgery, my surgery was booked 5 times and cancelled those times for each one of them. And on my last one was horrendous because I was actually mentally prepared. And I've also mentioned to the school, because my daughter, she's at the age where she sort of understands what's going on, but whether my son doesn't fully understand yet because he's a toddler. And she was worried, so I rang school and told them about, well, this is what's happening. So she might be coming into school a bit in a mood and emotional, but just very, and school have been absolutely amazing with that and supportive, and said yes, no problem, we'll keep an eye on her. And I've also mentioned it to the nursery, because I've had my son just before lockdown. He grew up with me most of the time at home. Obviously we were all had to stay at home, so he only just started nursery, and then I've had to go for the surgery, so I wasn't sure how he was going to adapt to the changes of starting nursery as well as me having the surgery. And then on the day of my surgery, I went in mentally prepared, got the kids and childcare, everything sorted, and on arrival they said my surgery has been cancelled, and I've not been notified on time because one of the machines broke down, so they're going to send me a letter. And I was very frustrated, having anxiety and the depression. I was just so annoyed and angry. And I thought, right, okay, I'm not even going to bother with this surgery. I'm just going to have to live with the pain and ride it for as long as I can, and then see whatever happens, because I was so mad and upset and angry. And early this year, exactly around my birthday, I went to A&E on the 14th. My birthday's on the 15th of February, just after Valentine's Day. I went into A&E on the 14th, and it's so busy going into A&E. I was in a lot of pain as usual with the fibroid. My lower abdomen just aches, and then when it's painful, I can't do anything. And so I waited and was admitted. Oh no, I was not admitted on the day. I stayed until the following day because it was my birthday. My kids got everything planned for me. I came home, but with strong painkillers. But then I tried to ride out the day of my birthday, spend time with the kids, but I wasn't well at all that day. So the same evening, I went back into the hospital, and then I got admitted. So I spent my birthday pretty much, I would say, in hospital. And because I went there on the 14th, but I didn't leave there till about early hours on the 15th. So literally on my birthday, I left there early hours on the 15th, but went back in, and yeah, for the pain. And then whilst I was there, I explained to them, listen, I was supposed to have my surgery, and I don't know how they were not communicating. So the private hospital did not mention to the hospital or my GP that all these dates and surgery dates that they've been giving me and cancelled, nobody knew. So my GP didn't know, and then the surgery didn't know, and the hospital didn't know, sorry. So I mentioned to them, well, listen, I don't know this hospital, I've been there, but it doesn't look like a hospital to me. I've got this thing, and then I'm already worried. Can I be transferred here, since the COVID rate has gone down a little bit and things are going a bit back to normal? and I'll feel more confident coming here, because every time I've been sick, I've been coming to the hospital, the NHS hospital, and then I feel more confident there than to be on a private hospital. And then the staff then and the doctors there said, yeah, that's fine, you can get transferred, and explained to me it's okay. They weren't sure how long the date would be, so I had to do another pre-op. Whilst I was admitted, I did a scan to see how big my fibroid has gotten and etc. And then so I've had to wait for another pre-op assessment, which is what you do. You talk about the procedure and then any questions or worries you've got. So I've had to do another pre-op assessment and wait for a surgery date, so which I am currently waiting for. With the fibroid, there are two options. So if you can either just live with it and treat it if it's not bothering you as much, but when you've got severe pain like I have, or heavy bleeding, there are two options to go for which are quite effective. Myomectomy is one of them, where your uterus is kept intact and they just remove the fibroid, and then that option is quite good if your family is not complete and you would like more children, but you don't want to go through being pregnant with the fibroid. You just want to treat yourself first and then continue your family, then go for the myomectomy. But then if you're definitely sure that you don't want any more children, your family is complete and you're happy with it, you don't want to deal with it, this fibroid, just want it gone and then live a normal life, then go for the hysterectomy, where is removal of the fibroid as well as your uterus, and that is irreversible. So once you do that, it's not reversible. You cannot reverse it. So myomectomy, the cons is that the fibroid can reoccur, can come back, but the chances depend on everyone is different. Some people it doesn't come out, some it does.
Every surgery is may differ. You might go in for a myomectomy and you bleed heavily during surgery, then the doctors will have to proceed with a hysterectomy, or you might sometimes also go in for a hysterectomy and your case is not as severe as the doctor thought, and they might decide to proceed with myomectomy unless the patient is adamant and decided on having a hysterectomy. So the surgery can really differ.
So I'm not medic, like I said, so that's just what I've been told. And then hysterectomy, the chances of them coming back isn't there, because obviously your uterus, which is your womb, and then the fibroid is gone, but you do live a normal life later on. So there's no like major side effects of recovery after. Because surgery itself, the word and then open cut surgery scares me. I'm not going to actually say which one I've decided to go for, just because I would like to keep that to myself. And you probably find that eventually when I'm ready, but for now, because I haven't gone for the surgery yet and I'm still in the process of deciding, I would leave that for myself and then update you guys on it when I'm ready to do so. And then the fibromyalgia. So fibromyalgia is a chronic disorder, widespread pain all over your body. It comes sudden, lasts for about few hours or longer, and then goes. And that's what I have. So my fibromyalgia happened when soon after I had my son, I was driving and I felt this heavy pain on my body and on my arm, my right side of my arm, and I didn't know what it was. It felt really heavy. It felt like when you get vaccinated, when you're in school, secondary school, probably remember, you have immunization and then you get vaccinated and then your arm starts to feel a bit heavy. That's how it felt, but I didn't think much of it. I drove myself home because I wasn't too far away from home, so I managed to drive myself home, and I came and then the pain went. But then I was like, you know what, maybe because I just had a baby, I'm tired, and you know, I just probably lack of rest. I slept on my armband and I didn't think much of it, carried on doing whatever I was doing at the time, I can't remember. And then a couple of months later, that same pain came, but then it started spreading even further, so it was more on my right side. I was scared, I freaked out, I thought I was having a stroke. I was rushed to hospital, and they run all sorts of tests. I did a test with a neurologist to check if anything to do with my nerves and etc. I was given some strong painkillers because I was in a lot of pain. And one of the symptoms of fibromyalgia is you get extreme fatigue and then pain, so because it's everywhere. And then you get brain fog. So brain fog is like it's a bit like if you have a baby, they'll say you've got baby brain, so you tend to forget things or not remember a lot of things. So I get a lot of that as well. I get brain fog where my brain just freezes and I don't know, it just feels like my brain is empty. So fibromyalgia, sorry, for me is it's been a difficult one for me to accept and then to adjust to. Even now I'm still trying to accept, and then there is no cure for it. So what the doctors assume causes it is probably trauma. So if you've undergone a lot of trauma in the past, which I have undergone through, 14 years ago I was in a very toxic relationship, and that has caused me a lot of trauma. I'm not going to go into details with that because I hate talking about it. And the aftermath of it, even after 14 years of having that trauma, having the aftermath of it now, and then it happened suddenly. So when I get this pain all over my body with fibromyalgia, it's so painful that it's like I can't do anything, and it makes me feel so exhausted when once the pain is gone. So I'll feel like I know when I'm gonna have bad days, like I'm sleeping, I'm awake, and then my body just feels so painful, and I feel so tired, and then I haven't even gotten out of bed yet, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna have such a terrible day today. It's gonna be one of those days. With fibromyalgia, you get good days where you feel absolutely normal. You've got no pain. You can go about doing your life, go about doing whatever you're doing in your life or whatever you've got to do, and then within a flick of a finger or the following day you'll be in a right state. You'll be in so much pain, like you can't bear it, you can't like there's nothing you can really do about it, just to let the pain go. And that is annoying. I found that really annoying. If I'm looking over there, I'm looking at my window, so sorry. I found that really annoying, and then hard to adjust because I'm an introvert, so I like to keep to myself. But at the same time, I've got children, and I would love them. I would like to go out and then socialize. Anybody would like to socialize. Even introvert people love to socialize. And I've noticed that since I've had fibromyalgia, it's gone from bad to worse, and the pain has done the same thing. And because I don't know when it's going to kick in, I've become a bit more antisocial. So I'm avoiding speaking to friends. I'm avoiding going out because I don't know when the pain is going to kick in. Because there's no cure, there are some classes. There are some classes that you can take. So I've been referred to physio, and then that hasn't worked. What they've done, what the doctors have done, is to refer me to the fibromyalgia pain classes. I think that's what it's called, where you meet up. So you do it over online on Teams, and then it's once every week, which I've been doing for an hour, and then you meet up with other fellow patients that also suffer from fibromyalgia, and then they talk about the pain, and then they'll help you deal with how to manage the pain, what to do. And then because it does have an effect on your mental well-being, also support you through the mental well-being things, so how to deal with it mentally and emotionally. Because when I first had it, I felt like a right state. So I hit rock bottom when it comes to my mental health. I was really low with myself. I just felt like too many illnesses all in one go for me to handle. And then because lockdown as well and the COVID hasn't helped going through it, because I've been diagnosed with fibromyalgia not long ago, but I have been suffering the pain on and off with my arms and all that, and my body, just sudden pain on and off for about a couple of years, about 2 years, if I'm correct, before I was finally diagnosed. And on top of that, I've got PCOS. So PCOS, in a brief, it's just a condition that makes you hairy. So it causes a lot of hairiness all over your body. Because as well, I've had the fibromyalgia, it's made me feel, and the PCOS on top of it, that makes me hairy. So it just makes you so hairy. So you got like, it gives you hairs in places, it makes your hair grow in places, but some of the places you don't want your hair to grow at, and then it grows. And that on its own has lowered my self-esteem. So I go out thinking people are staring at me. If someone, like before I used to be so good with my eye contact, but now if someone talks to me and looks at me, I'm like, oh my God, I just staring at a hair that I haven't, you know, trimmed or whatever, or I haven't plucked out. And it's not, it doesn't make me feel, I would say I'm kind of like a girly person. I like to get my nails done. I like to go out, and I've got my daughter who's also girly, so we like to do things together. And then having the PCOS just makes me feel a little bit masculine, and then a little bit like insecure with myself. So, and then if anyone notices and then brings it up, it's like, oh, you know, I missed this. I wish I could do this. I will be trying to do some like session. I do know you can do some hair removal sessions, which I will go for it after, hopefully after surgery, whenever that would be. And because I'm just trying to take one thing at a time, and then I've got anxiety and depression with having the fibromyalgia, the fibroid, the PCOS has affected my mental health. So my mental health was deeply affected when there were times I hit rock bottom, and I felt like, what was the point of living? I didn't want to live anymore. I was fed up. I had suicidal thoughts. I was angry with myself, like what have I done wrong? I was worried it would affect my kids. And you can hide so much from your children, but they can pick up as well from it. So when they'll be in bed, in the daytime, I'll look like this strong mom, smiling, making sure my children are okay. And then at night time, or when I'm in the shower, I'll cry my eyes out because it just got so much and overwhelming. And I was like, there's so much I want to do and live a normal life, but I couldn't feel myself be normal, especially when I had like, when the days come where I have fibroid pain as well as the fibromyalgia pain put together on the same day. Oh my God, it's so unbearable. All I want to do is just sleep and not feel the pain. I don't want to do anything else, just sleep. And sometimes it's so bad that I feel the pain within my sleep. I've got to wake up and take a lot of painkillers, and then they don't help because your body got so used to having painkillers that it almost feels like it's not working anymore. And that's how I felt. I felt like that I've had enough of it. But my children have kept me alive and then motivated to keep going, because though I had this suicidal thought in my head, I was always thinking, what's going to happen to my children? You know, I'm going to affect them even more. If there's anything in this world, or anyone who loves me so much, will be my kids. And then just watching them grow, and then trying to picture my daughter growing, and soon, you never know, she's, you know, what she's gonna be tomorrow. And then her prom and my son's first day at school, I didn't want to miss that. I didn't want them to be affected, so that kept me alive. I always say to my kids that they're my heartbeat, and they are my heartbeat, so they keep me going. And it's the reason why I'm still alive today. I've not processed on those foods. And I've also tried to refer myself to some counseling, which I'm waiting for. And if you're out there and you're going through something that I am going through, and you feel like this is it and you just can't handle, and then is draining you emotionally and physically, like what my illnesses are doing with my mental well-being, get some help. I used to be so afraid to say how I was feeling, because I was always afraid that if I mentioned to my doctors or anybody that I feel this way or I feel suicidal, that I'm going to lose my children. And because the picture that we have of social services are not really great. But then what my doctors has made me understand is that it's better to speak about it, because you're trying to get help for yourself, and in return it helps your children as well, because once you're feeling better, your kids also feel good. And I wasn't scared to speak out about how I was feeling. And then my daughter even referred, because I've been at home for almost 3 years during the whole lockdown period. I recently, about a year ago, found a job, so I went back into working. It's not, I work part-time, it's not a big role, but it's something that keeps my mind going. So it takes me out of the house a little bit, because due to my fibroid and the fibromyalgia, I can't do anything drastic or major when it comes to work. I can't work long hours like I used to. until I'm able to manage the pain. But as for now, my pain, I would say from 0 to 100, probably 100. Today has been one of my luckiest days because I'm feeling so kind of normal. Not my the day I get my fibromyalgia, hence why I decided to do this video. But it is a heavy one to do as well because I wasn't sure if I wanted to share it out there. But then I said to myself, there might be someone out there who's feeling the same way that I am feeling or going through what I'm going through, and it might help them. So if it does help you and you do feel like, okay, yeah, it's not just me, we're going through it alone, or you want to talk more about how you're feeling, how you're managing your pain, or just get in touch with me, comment down below, and then we can take it from there. But just let you know, get help if you need help. Don't be afraid to ask for help, because I was afraid, I was ashamed. I was classed as this strong person, but deep down I was actually draining myself out. And then I'm glad I got some help, because having those illnesses does have an effect on your mood swings. So I would get good days where I'm absolutely okay, and some days I'll be extremely upset, and then some days I'll be crying my tears out and don't even know why I'm crying, because all these have been bundled up together. And then because I've sought help and I am going through it, I'm trying to get back to myself, and I'm hoping that once I've had my surgery, and hopefully the fibromyalgia pain will also go down as soon as it can. I'm not sure when and how long, because even the doctors don't know. It's something that you just have to live with. I'll try and live a better life for myself and that for my kids, and find myself, because I did lose myself, if you know this. I felt like I've lost Gloria, who Gloria used to be before she had kids, and who Gloria is as a mother. And I'm trying to find myself again and live for me, and make me happy as well, and not being so afraid or insecure about doing things because I'm worried about my health. Also, let me know if you'd like to see when I do get my surgery, if you'd like me to record or document the surgery process, the healing process, and maybe what's in my bag for surgery. If it's something you would like to see, or if you have any other suggestion or videos that you would like me to do into my surgery, please do comment down below. And if I can if I can record and put that video up, I will do. And also, whilst I was in hospital, I don't know why I've not mentioned this, whilst I was in hospital, I tried to upload on my YouTube community page that I was in hospital as a post. I might put something up on this side or here to show you what I mean, because I'm not sure how to explain. And I don't think it worked, but if you've seen it on my channel, please do comment below and let me know. And if you haven't seen it, please, and you know how to upload it and what maybe I need to do so that it shows up for my next update, please do comment down below and let me know, as I'm still new to this YouTube and editing thing, so it will really help. And any subscription, any new subscriber, comments, like, share will really be helpful. Until then, I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye for now. Have a lovely weekend if you see this in a weekend, or have a lovely week if you see in the week. Bye. Thank you for watching, and let's support ourselves this YouTube creator journey. Help me get to 100 subscribers.